Hey, disc golf fans. Ready to explore a course that's earned some serious nicknames? We're diving deep into Keinari,
Keinari, yeah.
located in Kerava, Finland.
That's right.
You might hear locals calling it.
Oh, yeah, they've got a few nicknames for this one. Keinari, Keenis, or even Sherwood.
Sherwood.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm already picturing a challenging course.
You got it.
And that's exactly what we're here to uncover for you today.
Yeah.
The history, the layout, those unique challenges that make Keinari a favorite for players who, like you, enjoy a good test of skill.
It's interesting, actually, looking back at how Keinari came to be. Established in 2007.
Okay.
It was originally built around an old ski slope.
Really?
Yeah, which explains the dramatic elevation changes people mention in the reviews.
An old ski slope, that's a first. I bet those early days were wild.
Oh, I'm sure. It started as a 9-hole course, pretty overgrown from what I gather.
Yeah.
Things changed in 2010 when the Frisbee Golf Club Keinari was formed. They've been instrumental in maintaining and expanding the course ever since.
Wow, talk about a glow up. By 2013, they transformed it into a full 18-hole course.
That's right.
And then in 2019, they went all in with a complete redesign by Seppo Paju.
Yeah, Seppo Paju really leaned into those natural features, creating a course that's both challenging and visually stunning.
It's all disc golf park baskets, too.
Oh, yeah.
Which are known for their quality.
Yeah, they are.
Okay, I am ready to tee off on this virtual tour.
Let's do it.
What are some of the standout holes that make Keinari so special?
Well, let's start right at the beginning, hole 1,
Okay.
called Etupelto, Osa 1, which translates to front field, part 1, is a par 4 that immediately throws down the gauntlet.
Oh, I love when a course wastes no time getting to the good stuff.
Aha, right.
What makes hole 1 so challenging?
Well, it's a long one for starters, and with out-of-bounds OB areas on both sides, there's no room for error off the tee. It's a real test of accuracy and nerve.
I can already feel the pressure. It's like the course is saying, let's see what you've got.
Exactly.
What comes next?
Hold on tight, because hole 2, your can finish for Cliff is a doozy.
Uh-oh.
Imagine this. You're teeing off from a cliff, aiming for a basket perched on top of a massive rock.
Whoa. Okay, this course is not messing around.
Nope.
I can see why people call it Sherwood now. It's like navigating a mythical forest filled with unexpected challenges.
That's a good way to put it. And the reviews we're seeing often mention how beautiful and dramatic the views are from there.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, it's not just the technical difficulty of the game here, it's the whole experience.
And based on what you mentioned earlier about those ski slope origins, I bet the elevation changes are no joke.
You got it. But before you think it's all just brute force and distance.
Okay.
Hole 4 Kilo or Dead Pine brings it back to basics.
Right.
It's the shortest on the course, but notoriously easy to overshoot.
A reminder that finesse and placement are just as important as power.
Yeah.
You can't let your guard down even on the shorter holes.
What's next on our Keinari adventure?
Well, we're headed back out to the open field for hole 5, Etupelto Osa 2, another long one with a hazard area this time.
Right.
So not only do you have to worry about OB,
Right.
but there's an added risk-reward calculation if you want to avoid that penalty stroke.
You're really keeping you on your toes. Okay, this is getting good.
Yeah.
Hit me with another whole description that screams Keinari.
Okay, how about hole 7, Keskapelto Osa 1, or middle field part 1? It's a downhill par 3,
Okay.
which sounds manageable enough until you factor in the OB,
Okay.
which happens to be on the right behind the basket, A&D shared with hole 8.
We shared OB. Talk about situational awareness. You'd have to be so mindful of other players while navigating your own shot. That's intense.
It is, and it speaks to Keinari's design philosophy. This is a course that demands precision, forces you to think strategically,
Yeah.
and really tests your understanding of the game. And it's only hole 7. What other challenges await? Okay, we've made it through the first few holes of Keinari, and already I'm getting the sense that this course is a mental game as much as a physical one.
Oh, absolutely. And it sounds like the challenges are only going to ramp up as we go deeper into this course. For example, hole 11, Metsalenki, or Forest Loop, marks a significant shift as we enter the woods.
Ah, the wooden holes.
Yeah.
Those are always a test of accuracy and shot shaping. What can you tell us about hole 11?
It's the first fully wooded par 4, and the basket placement is particularly devious, nestled on top of a mound.
Oh, wow.
It's all about control and strategy on this one.
Sounds like you need to bring your A game to Keinari.
Oh.
Any other holes that are making you go wow from those hole descriptions?
Well, hole 13, Takapelon Tunneli, which translates to backfield tunnel.
Okay.
Sounds unlike anything I've encountered before. Imagine starting with a low tunnel.
Okay, I'm already picturing myself having to throw a low-controlled shot, maybe even a thumber.
You read my mind. But here's where it gets really interesting. There's a triple mando within the tunnel.
Get out of here. A triple mando in a tunnel. That's insane.
Yeah.
So you're essentially being forced to navigate this incredibly precise line before you even emerge from the tunnel.
That's right. And then it opens up into a field.
Yeah.
You'd think that would be a relief.
Yeah.
But of course, Keinari wouldn't be Keinari without a few more surprises.
Hit me with them. What kind of mayhem awaits in the field?
Let's just say OB areas and drop zones are plentiful. You're going to need every trick shot in your bag to navigate this one successfully.
Okay, I'm starting to see a theme here, and that theme is Keinari is not for the faint of heart. But for those who love a good challenge, this sounds like pure disc golf bliss.
Exactly. And speaking of challenges, we have to talk about hole 14, aptly named Par Femma, Par 5.
The longest hole on the course, right?
That's the one clocking in at a mighty 276 meters. And as if the length alone wasn't enough, they redesigned it in 2021.
Oh, no.
To make it even more challenging.
Of course they did. I'm almost afraid to ask, but what did they change?
Let's just say there's a reason the reviews call this hole a monster. OB lines the left side and the approach to the basket. Downright cruel even for experienced throwers.
We've talked a lot about OB in hazard areas, but you mentioned that Keinari is known for its generous use of drop zones, right? Can you talk a bit more about that?
Absolutely. One of the reviewers described Keinari's drop zones as a touch of mercy. And honestly, with all these hazards and mandos, that's probably a welcome relief.
So you're faced with the decision. Take the penalty stroke and play it safe, or risk a tougher shot for a chance at a better score.
Right.
It adds this whole strategic layer to the game.
And it highlights that Keinari isn't just about punishing bad shots, it's about rewarding those who are willing to strategize and take calculated risks.
Okay, back to the course tour. What other memorable holes does Keinari have in store for us?
How about we head into the dense forest for hole 16, Picasilta, or Small Bridge?
Ooh, anything with a name like that has to be interesting. What makes it stand out?
It's a demanding, wooded par 4. And the OB to the left isn't just trees, it's a horse paddock.
A horse paddock. Talk about a unique hazard. You don't see that every day on a disc golf course. I have to admit, this course is exceeding my expectations in terms of pure creativity. Okay, give me one more hole description that encapsulates the spirit of Keinari.
Well, after that wild ride, hole 17, Palu e Tupelo, meaning return to the front field, might sound like a walk in the park.
The name sounds almost peaceful. Are we finally getting a break from the chaos?
Don't get too comfortable. It's described as a shorter version of hole 7, which if you remember means we're back to dealing with OB lines downhill shots.
Oh, no.
And probably a few more surprises.
Okay, so maybe not a walk in the park, more like a brisk jog through a minefield. But hey, that seems to be the Keinari way, right?
Exactly. And it all culminates in hole 18, Etupelto Osa 3 Metsasareki, front field part 3, Forest Island.
The grand finale. What's in store for us as we finish this epic round?
This one got a redesign in 2022, and the consensus seems to be that they saved the best, or perhaps I should say most challenging, for last.
Details. Details. I need to know what they did.
Picture this. You're making your final approach, the pressure is on, and those OB lines, they're creeping closer on the left and right.
Oh, no.
Squeezing you in, making that final putt anything but a gimme.
Wow. Talk about a pressure cooker. Keinari really doesn't let up until the very last putt drops.
Yeah.
It's the perfect example of a course that keeps you on your toes from start to finish.
And that's what makes it so rewarding. You're not just playing against the course, you're playing against yourself, testing your limits and pushing your skills to the max.
This deep dive has been incredible so far. We've covered the history, explored some of the standout holes, and gotten a real sense of what makes this course so unique.
And we haven't even touched on the Prodigy T signs that guide players through this Sherwood forest of disc golf.
Oh, right. Those are important. Those T signs are like a lifeline, especially on a course as intricate as this one. What can you tell us about them?
Yeah, those Prodigy T signs are top-notch. They're known for having all the info you need, par, distance, those OB lines we've been talking about, and they're really clear and easy to read.
That's key for a course like Keinari, where one wrong step could land you in a world of hurt. Good signage can make or break the experience, especially for first-timers.
And speaking of first-timers, while the signage is great, I think it's clear that Keinari isn't really geared towards beginners. This is a course designed for seasoned players, those who are up for a serious challenge.
Totally. But that's part of what makes it so special. It's not trying to be all things to all players. It knows what it is, a demanding, rewarding experience for those who are ready to step up their game.
And it's not just the difficulty that makes Keinari stand out, it's the thoughtfulness of the design. Those strategically placed drop zones we talked about, that's not an accident. That's the course designer saying, we're going to make you work for it, but we're not going to completely crush your soul.
Right. It's like a tough but fair teacher who pushes you to be your best.
Mm.
Speaking of being your best, how does Keinari stack up against other courses in the region? We've seen glimpses of it in the reviews, those comparisons to Tally 4 DGP Varisto.
Yeah, it definitely holds its own. In fact, many reviewers say it's the toughest of the bunch. Like, if you can conquer Keinari, you can conquer any disc golf course out there.
So it's like the final boss level of Finnish disc golf.
Pretty much. But like any good final boss, it's not just about brute force. You need strategy finesse, maybe even a little luck.
And you know what else really comes through in these sources? It's not just about the course itself. It's about the community that built it, that maintains it, that keep coming back for more punishment.
Absolutely. Remember how it started? A scrappy 9-hole course practically abandoned.
Yeah.
And now look at it, a world-class disc golf destination, all thanks to a group of passionate individuals who saw its potential.
That's pretty inspiring.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it speaks to a larger trend in disc golf, this idea that it's not just a sport, it's a community.
Totally. And Keinari embodies that community spirit. It's a place where players of all skill levels, well, maybe not beginners, can come together, challenge themselves, and share their love for the game.
Well said. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here. The history, the design, the challenges, even those awesome Prodigy T signs. As we wrap up this deep dive into Keinari, what's the one key takeaway you hope our listener walks away with?
If you're looking for a casual, leisurely round of disc golf, Keinari is not the place. But if you're ready to push your limits, experience a course that's unlike anything else out there, and become part of a passionate community, well, Keinari is waiting.
Beautifully said. I know I'm adding it to my disc golf bucket list.
Me too. And maybe we'll see you there someday.
Until then, happy throwing.